thankfully I always keep my hotkeys backed up. If you guys use any custom profile, always keep it back up somewhere on your desktop or on your computer, because otherwise it may, you never know when Battle.net's gonna fuck with your hotkeys. And we also just added a microbial shroud. We're also gonna add a Lurkaden hotkey, since I don't think that's got one. There we go. Alright, so I think that should be good. And what I can do is I can now copy that over to my hotkey backups folder very quickly. And we're gonna quickly rename that to, what's the date? 3rd December. And that's back in my backup folder. I think we're good to actually queue some games now, guys. Hey Milnek, what's up? Your tweet was aggressive? I don't think it was very aggressive. It was just one of those things where I've recently been hearing a lot more detailed info on kind of environmental issues that are going on with a lot of ecosystems having a lot of issues to do with like insect life going down a lot, ocean life, overfishing hitting like a pretty critical point globally, and a few other things like that, which kind of opened my eyes to like how present a lot of environmental impacts already are at the moment. You know, global warming and climate change amongst others. So for me, it was one of those things where I'm like, well, I've always known those were issues, and I've always voted towards like the party that would do more in that regard, but I wouldn't research it or know a lot about it or anything like that. So I basically said, you know, why it's not just to do that. There's a lot of other issues politically where I feel like current political systems aren't very effective. So I feel like what I've been a bit, I was kind of down for a few days, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, hey Flan man, thanks for the 17 months. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, if there are, you know, if the doom and gloom predictions are accurate, and you know, I do think on the current course, a lot of bad things will happen. And I think we need to fix a lot of shit rather quickly, right? I don't think we have a lot of time as a human race to stop billions of people dying. But I don't actually know enough about it. So if someone's like, no, that's not true, I can't argue with them. And at the same time, I'm like, what if I, like am 80 years old 50 years from now, and I'm like, my grandkids are like, why the fuck didn't you do anything about this? And I was like, yeah, well, can I sleep at night, basically, right? Like, I'm ultimately a very selfish person, so that's what it comes down to. Is I don't think I can change the world or anything, but I was like, I want to be able to sleep at night knowing I did stuff and wasn't like, oh well, I voted and then it didn't work because the political system was kind of shitty and nothing happened. So I basically just decided I'm going to spend an hour a week, real small goals to start, just kind of researching and learning to understand different issues. And then as I start to understand the environmental stuff deeper, then I can start to actually campaign some way. Whether it's just chatting to my friends and just being like, hey man, you should vote for these people, because they're gonna actually do something about this rather than fucking this up, you know? That's all. I also, you know, people, it's funny how this is like a politicized argument, because whenever I mention stuff to do with the environment or anything, it's always somebody who's like, it's a fucking lie, you're wrong, or someone else who's like, yeah, the world is gonna end, it's gonna blow up, it's gonna fucking die, everyone's gonna die. And I'm like, I feel like, you know, any one of these extreme viewpoints is not great. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I felt a bit depressed, and I felt a bit like, man, the world's gonna end. And then I was thinking about it in like the grand historical context, and I was like, well, if you think about it, look, there have been mass extinction events from meteors hitting and all the dinosaurs dying and like a couple of fucking gerbils and fish surviving and life, you know, slowly re-evolving from that. And, you know, I think, you know, there's been wars where the fucking Genghis Khan killed like 50 million people and chopped all their heads off and shit. Is this real, Avilo, by the way? It is. Oh my god. It's gonna be great. Good first game of the day. But I you know, I think this definitely does seem to be like a bigger existential issue in my eyes. But as I said, it's just for me, it's like, what you know, what how can I sleep at night? You know, I'd already started doing some stuff where I try to like, you know, Try to not eat much beef. Try to, you know, cut down on my plastic and waste and stuff like that. You know, I've been doing that for a while. Not very aggressively, but a little bit. You know, just small lifestyle changes. And that's not going to change global warming or anything like that, right? But a lot of people have this thing where they're like, well, the world's going to end, but, you know, if you don't stop China or you don't stop the pollution in India, like what you do doesn't matter. And I think one of this problems that is, you know, part of the existential crisis where we all feel like nothing's going to fix anything, the problems in our world are so insurmountable. I think part of it is we're all so cynical now. I think like back in the day, there'd be an issue and people were naive enough to be like, well, if we just work together, we can fix it and do these things. And nowadays we're like, no, there's no fucking way. We're all fucking evil. And everyone gets like really upset. And I think my superpower, if I have a superpower as a human, is to still be hopelessly naive in some ways, you know?
They're attacking your base, you know. A new queen has emerged.
I'm not going to take that. I'll just take this one.
A new queen has emerged.
So I still feel like if I go and make small changes in my life to the point where I can campaign or argue for something non-hypocritically, I feel like I can make changes happen within my own local circle of people. And I think the reason we don't see, you know, politicians actually following what people want these days, and we see so much inaction on so many issues and so many problems, is because so many of us are like, well, you can't fucking change it, everything's broken. And I don't know, I just don't think it's the case. I feel like there's a lot of problems and there's a lot of things that are broken, but I feel like any change starts with me making small, on the grand scale, meaningless changes so that I can non-hypocritically, you know, engage with the ideas, face up to it, recognize the problems going on in our world, and then hopefully make some tiny change. And if enough people do that, hopefully there's a ripple effect and something happens. I'm not saying we're gonna fix the fucking world and everything's gonna be great. We can lessen impacts of things, we can prepare for things. We can make more of those tropical island domes to live in and play permanent home story cups while we wait for the Earth's atmosphere to recover from, you know, hundreds of years of abuse. There's things we can do. I'm hopeful, guys. I'm hopeful, okay? So, I don't know if that's me being crazy or...
Our drones are under attack.
You're engaging the opponent.
A new queen.
So anyways, let's focus on the gameplay now. It's just Milnek was asking about that. So that's kind of a little thing and a little realization I've come to. It's just going to start with me researching issues and understanding them so I can talk about them a bit more, just with my local friend of, you know, circle of friends, and try to, you know, push forward change and stuff in small yet hopefully in the long term meaningful ways. We'll see how it goes, right? So we are playing Avilo.
Your forces are under attack.
He's going to jump in with a BC pretty soon.
Has emerged.
So we do need to, of course, get a Spire.
Your base is under attack again.
A new queen has emerged. A new queen has emerged. Our drones are under attack.
That's not going to achieve anything.
Your forces are taking damage.
What are you guys doing?
Unacceptable command. Unacceptable command.
All right, so he's obviously going for the flying units. I'm not going for the flying units, but we are building a spire because we might want to build the flying guys to try and shoot at his flying guys. Whether or not we end up doing that, I don't know. You can't cancel your creep tumors anymore. God, so annoying. I always forget that. I keep trying to do it, and I'm like, oh, misclicked it. That's fine, cancel it. And I'm like, why won't it cancel? Where do you take a 5th base on this map? Is it this one or this one? Probably this one? I don't know. So I've got no idea what we're up against, by the way.
Our forces are under attack.
I guess we probably want to make Swarmers, because it looks like he's playing traditional mech.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay.
Evolution complete.
So we'll build, I think, like 8 Corruptors. And then maybe...
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
We're running out of minerals back home. You're under attack. Siege up. That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion. Unacceptable command. Your forces are under attack.
Mutation complete. So creative.
My man.
Oh, that's an orbital, isn't it?
That field's been mined out. You're under attack. Siege up. You're engaging the opponent. Unacceptable command.
Ah.
Our forces are under attack. running out of minerals back home.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Oh shit.
Your forces are taking damage. Mineral field depleted. Evolution complete.
Mutation. That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion.
Your forces are taking damage. Mutation complete. So creative.
Our forces are under attack.
Your forces are under attack.
Evolution complete.
A creep tumor's under attack.
You're engaging the opponent.
Mineral field depleted. Your warriors.
That field's been mined out.
That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all in one place. A new queen has emerged.
That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion.
Mutation complete.
You're under attack. Siege up. That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion. You're engaging the opponent.
A creep tumor's under attack.
We're just rolling units in from every side. So I hope you guys like my little talk about the environment and why I was tweeting about that yesterday. Also, you know, I just feel like there's general problems with the toxicity levels. So I'm doing my part to clean it up here. One Avilo game at a time. Let's take a look at that units lost tab. I'm sure he was more efficient since I was just throwing stuff away, but no, oh no, he was, of course, swarm hosts, yeah. So he was trying to mass Thor. He had 1-1 upgrades at the 16-minute mark, despite trying to mass Thor off a battle cruiser opening. The Widow Mines did a good job for a while. Obviously, once we started bringing speed overseers, though, pretty easy. People saying, oh no, this could be the Riddler, not real Avilo. No, it is the Avi NA clan. The way you can tell if it's Riddler is it will say AIV. It's a fake clan. But this is the real Avilo. His MMR's been really good. He actually tapped 5,700 MMR a few weeks ago. So MMR's been really good lately. GG, well played. Got a carbon capture him. A pig. Why so much hate for Avilo, says Yipsman. So much hate? I would say, with the number of times someone's told me to kill myself, and when they were beating me, told me to get out of the game and that I'm a piece of shit, and that, you know, I'm the reason StarCraft's dead and I'm a piece of shit. I think my attitude towards Avilo is actually pretty kind. I'd go out on a limb and say that. I'd say it's pretty nice. Most people who have acted the way Avilo has towards me, I would be A lot more toxic towards mate. Much more toxic.